and welcome back to ENTP Life, where we're discussing my ayahuasca journey. So I did this journey with Etnikas, and this is going to be an introduction to their process, review of their grounds, my first dosing, and my experience.
SAMY. I will be your coordinator during this retreat, and more than your coordinator, I am the responsible of your well-being. So any question or anything that you will need, you can tell me there. I will be available 24 hours for you, because I will stay until 3 days with you. For those that have 5 days, 7 days, you will be with other coordinator in 3 days. All right. So first, they're in the house. We are a team. You know, there is a doctor, a psychologist, the masters. So before to go, I just would like to tell you that you must focus on your own experience, because here we are prepared for any situation. So you will be safe right there. Okay. And that this has with your experience here in the retreat is because sometimes in the experience you go to the hell, you will feel that you are a sensation of dying, for example. But first this is in the mind, but you are going to the darker place of yourself, because you know that the experience is inside. So also after that, if you accept, if you just observe what is happening, what you're receiving, you will be able to go, in other words, to the more highest place. All right, to climb, and this is that is step. So first in the experience, there are for some people just with thoughts, with feelings, for other people with visions, maybe more purging, or maybe all together, or maybe not, none of them. There are some bodies, but this is in less situations, but some bodies that don't accept the ayahuasca.
So after Sammy's overview of what to expect on your initial trip, we were on our way to the Sacred Valley. Now it's really beautiful and very green, and you can see why this place was a spiritual place for the Mayans in general. Now, one of the things that he mentioned was traveling to the three phases, right? One is the physical and realistic world. The other is the underworld, or this feeling of death. And of course, what we consider heaven in everyday kind of conversation, right? Here is an example of the ayahuasca vine, as well as the plant that's used to make it. In this view, you can see the hut that we kind of went on our journey in, and just more visuals of what the grounds look like. Now, on the inside of this hut are a bunch of mats, and what we did inside there was lay down on these mats, drink the ayahuasca, which, you know, kind of tastes like, I don't know, burnt coffee in a way, and tripped into our trance.
Testing. I guess you should hear me. Okay, so this is night one of 2 nights, because I'm on a 3-day journey. So there's actually 2 doses of ayahuasca. Life-changing experience. Not everybody's, experience is going to be the same. But for me, I had 2 sessions tonight. I had a first session where it was like the first drinking, and then we laid down, and at first, the first sensations I felt were like just kind of like tingling on my body, like as if somebody was just kind of like stroking the hair on my body. And then that started to intensify a bit. And Welcome back. Yeah, so that started to intensify a bit, and then I started to have like these visual hallucinations, I would say. Or maybe they're not hallucinations, they're just what I can't see on a regular basis. I don't know. Don't know what to call it, honestly. But man, it takes you to death. I let you taste death, and like death ain't that bad, man. It's actually a pretty good place to be. Obviously, I don't want to die anytime soon. I'm still kind of rooted in this world in a way. But man, the things that you see and the sequences, like it. So one thing, it's like you definitely will have not definitely, but I had an outer body experience, kind of where I was watching myself, but in myself at the same time. I felt like, the people that I love were present with me, that whether they were dreaming themselves or daydreaming, I could kind of tap into that and get those little reminders that I'm loved or significant in their eyes in a way. But then you go through like this, for me, I went through this like wormhole where I got to understand everything. I saw what my daughter saw while she was in utero. I got to feel myself in utero as well, hearing my parents talking, actually even them having sex while I was in there, kind of being like, ooh, that's kind of strange, and then thinking about my daughter having the same experience. And then like it just intensifies, and then like for me, since I'm like a thinker, I went through this whole like puzzle of trying to outwit myself. And it was like funny because it's like I was always a step ahead. And yeah, I met Elon Musk, shook hands. Seemed to be some sort of understanding there. Kind of hung out with Putin. Also seemed to be some sort of understanding there. Almost like there's Mike Tyson was all over, man. And it's almost like, these are the people who get it, who've seen it, who felt it. And they may seem weird in society's eyes, but they all have seen the same thing. You know what I mean? Like meeting God, and like it's not necessarily God, it was like I guess a being, looked feminine to me, but there's like stretching the universe, stretching, and then condensing, and then expanding again, and then condensing again, and then kind of showing you over and over and over that the cycles are the cycles, and then just like you reposition to to get something, and then, or just to disrupt it, and just to play a game. It's like, at least for me, it was a lot of game playing, mental games. As far as like relationships, not quite sure if I could talk about it publicly, but everybody, especially as like an intimate lover, comes into your life for a reason. And then there's some that are more significant than others. At least that's what I felt. And I almost felt like they were brought to me to kind of deal with a certain aspect of myself, and vice versa. And I think all of them were really missing a sense of what unconditional love is. And I would always go back to, like, when I was dealing with that love feeling, there was like, I think the doctor, the nurse, man, I wanted her near me, and at times I felt like, okay, I'm secure, this is perfect. I wanted to make sure that my daughter always has that, that she's not missing that unconditional love, or doesn't ever feel that way. But for the women who are in my life, I feel like all of them have had that same trauma of, maybe not having the unconditional love. And if I give it, because I love hard when I'm with somebody, I try my best to please them and make them happy. So I think just like I felt secure in that anchor person, or whether it's the doctor or the nurse, almost like I was that anchor for them at some point in their lives. And that's why they're still in love with me, or there's still, the affinity there. It's because in one way or another, we have to be together in a way. Just for even for occasional check-ins, or, when it's time to move on. But yeah, ultimately, it's unreal, and I think it's something that everybody should experience. Right now, I had 2 dosings in one night. First one was cool. Second one was pretty freaking intense. And I'm almost thinking I don't even want another night of this. I crapped myself, like, completely. And the funny thing is like, I got to feel exactly what my daughter feels. Just sitting around in your own warm shit and like, whatever, man. Somebody's gonna eventually take care of this. That was nice. And yeah, so it was like, to go through this whole experience again, it almost felt like I time traveled, or like I transcended time. Like I went into the future, I went into the past. Said it's all bullshit, it's just you know, where you position yourself. It's not really like a linear thing. It's such a wild experience. And it's like, I want to, you know, the people that I care about, I want them to like, yo, you need to do this, just for better understanding, or just to see it, man. It's really, I couldn't have dreamed it. But you know what's funny? That movie Interstellar, it got it perfect. It showed exactly what it's like to be a father, what it's like to feel that you need to save humanity. And when he was in that bookcase, playing the puzzle, playing the game, man, I felt that I was in something similar. You know, I actually thought about that, and I was like, wow, man, it's like the people who are doing these movies or who are actually touching on these concepts have been here, whether it's, you know, through ayahuasca or self-meditation or whatever. They've gotten to this point, and now they're trying to put it into a visual perspective. Because like in Interstellar, it's like the light is a little strange. The feeling is a little chaotic. But it is about right. It's like you're in that fourth dimension. And I think everybody needs to go there at least once in their conscious life, and then, you know, if we're able to die and stay there in that like ether world, it's not heaven, it's not hell. It's kind of heavenly because you find a lot of joy. Like you could just pick happy moments, taste, like the clicking of the first time that you did that as a kid. You did it again. You're accomplishing something. See all those little sensations, man. Well, I think that wraps it up for night one. What is 15 minutes of this. I highly recommend trying this out.